Hello everyone and welcome to KassDays. In this video we are on day 3 of this 22-day road trip up to Alaska and northern Canada, and here we can see, if you recall the last video, we left off in Fort St. John, or just outside, on a provincial campground. So today we are driving all the way up to Muncho Lake. That's approximately 620 kilometers, or if you're more familiar with miles, that would be around 390 miles, approximately 7 hours, because the roads will not just be like you see here. It will get a little bit more curvy and some of gravel roads as well. Anyways, I'm glad to have you with us, and as you've seen in my couple comments there already, eventually later today we'll be losing our cell phone signal, unless of course you have satellite phones. But we will lose the signal probably sometimes early afternoon, and the estimate right now is we won't have any signal anymore to the outside world for approximately 2 days. On the right hand side here there's a work camp, and I'll say a little bit more about that. And to the left hand side here is a gas station, and there will be no more gas for approximately the next 180 kilometers. And if you want to make it to the next major town, it's probably more like a total of 350-400 kilometers. But anyways, with the gas, or I shouldn't say the gas, the work camp there, that happens when there is work in the area, whether that's natural resources, oil, coal, gas, whatever, and it's quite remote, so people can't go home every night, so they stay in an actual work camp. Now here we have a straight road, as you can see on the horizon. It just disappears on us, no end in sight. It's a bit hazy here, a little bit of a yellow orangey tint in the air, and that's still from I should say hotspots that are left over from this past summer's major forest fires that have been burning all over northern Canada as well. So that's what that is. We are getting to Fort Nelson. Here again you see a little bit on the actual map, and we did not stop here. I'm sure there's a few things to see, but I didn't find anything too particular interesting, and I'm sure some of the locals will maybe disagree with me. By the way, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. That's much appreciated. It's free for you, but it really helps our channel grow. It's a fairly busy day, long drive, and as I said, sometimes we have areas where it slows us down quite a bit. Some of the trees are already quite yellow, and it's still early September, but we are much further north, although we are still well within Canada, and to be more precise, it's northern British Columbia. Just came across a few semi-trucks here. There are quite a few in the area, getting stuff back and forth, I guess, before winter sets in, or some of them probably hauling stuff all the way up to Alaska. Now, as you can see here, the roads are still in good shape as we drive along that ridge here, but that will change here pretty soon here. Now we get into some construction here before winter arrives. They repair the shoulder, and as you can see as well, it starts to get a little bit more into the mountains, and of course the roads get quite a bit more curvy. We are coming up on a slowdown here, as up front. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm going to put a green arrow on it then. Some reindeers are crossing the road. They are just on the left hand side, just kind of by the green arrow there. You see not two, three of them just climbing up the hill. But if you want to see them up closer, don't worry, we'll have some other ones as we come across them, probably an hour or two further up the road, and we had front row seats for that one. You can also see we are a bit higher up in elevation now. You see where the tree line stops, and the mountains just start to look bare. And we made it into the dusty roads. We are traveling on some loose gravel here. Keep our distance. There's another vehicle up front. That's where the dust cloud comes from, so we'll stay well enough back so we can see. And you know, to be honest, I actually enjoy traveling these roads. They are much more interesting. Of course, they're also much more challenging, but less boring than just driving on regular pavement. So I don't mind them at all. Now the only other thing as well, you got to pay some extra attention, not just because of the gravel, but some area have no barriers on the road. So please pay attention so you stay on the actual road, because it's a lot of times a steep drop into a valley somewhere. Here we are just curving around the mountains. You can see all the rocks that come tumbling down every once in a while as well. But before too long, well, I think we'll get back into paved roads again. You also got to be careful with your speed as well, because you never know when wildlife is crossing, and you never, or you can't see too far sometimes, especially with the dust clouds. Or you come around the corner here and they may just be right there. And as I mentioned earlier, here are a couple of reindeers crossing the road again. Slow this down so you can have a good close look at them. And off they are. Now, do you enjoy traveling roads like that and gravel a bit and curvy? Well, let me know in the comments. Here again, we're back on pavement, but we're right between a mountainside and a river, and had some signs too, do not stop, as every once in a while there are some rocks coming tumbling down here, so do not stop here, just keep driving through and move on. Early afternoon, well, I say, yeah, it's early afternoon, because even though it's beginning of September, the days are still relatively long, but they're gonna get shorter here pretty quick. And you also perhaps noticed there are not many towns on the way here, hence that's why I said about the gas stations and when there is no gas available. And we also in the meantime made it into no cell phone area here, and as it turns out it will last for about 2 days. You may sporadically get a very low signal, but most of the time that may just be enough to get a text in, maybe out, but that's about the very best. But most of the times there's absolutely no cell phone signal unless you have a satellite phone, as I mentioned before.
In 300 meters you will arrive at your destination.
We stopped in here, but unfortunately they were already closed for the season. The only thing that was still open was the gas station, and wait till you see the pumps. Here they are. They're probably about 60 years old. They're Gilbert and Parker. The company these days is called Gilbarco, and they were still manufactured in Canada. I'm also going to show you some of the gasoline prices and the diesel pricing here. I have it in text as it's probably different per liter or gallons, but the prices here I'm going to mention, that's $2.65 per liter of diesel, and I do believe the gasoline was $2.30. But thankfully we didn't need anything, still have gas for about another 350-400 kilometers, and the next major town is only about 280 kilometers away, so not the big deal. In the meantime, we did arrive at Muncho Lake. We decided to check this out. What do you think? Not too bad, huh? And see if we want to call this home for tonight. It's still a provincial campground that's still open, but it will also close probably in a couple days, as we are approaching slowly mid-September, and winter arrives so early up here. They start closing everything up, and the tourists pretty much die down for the season. Pretty clear, but pretty deep and cold right away. Okay, Muncho Lake.
Yeah.
Home for tonight. Well, I think I'm happy with that, so we're gonna call this then home for tonight. Keep in mind, we are in bear country and they may still be hungry and out and about, so follow all the bear regulations and bear safety for your safety and the bears. Day, what is it? Day
3.
It's Tuesday, right?
3.
3? Is it 3?
Day 3.
Okay, it's day 3 of our Alaska trip. On the way up, we still are. We've driven out of Calgary so for about, what is it, about 1,400 kilometers. And I think it's probably at least another 1,600 to go till we arrive in Anchorage, where we wanna go. And then, of course, eventually we'll make our way back home again. But so far, so good. It's September. It's a little chilly. It's almost plus 3-4 Celsius in the morning. I don't know if that's about 38 Fahrenheit, but stay with us and we'll mosey on. As we decided to stay here, we went about and took a couple pictures and a couple short video clips to bring to you. Muncho Lake, where we're staying at, is about 12 kilometers long, and as you can see, night is slowly settling in, falling over the land, and so we took a few pictures here. Now this root stump, that's the right word, the right way to put it, is actually one of my favorite pictures, the way this turned out. It's a calm evening, too cold, but slightly above freezing. We'll see you in the morning. Have a good night. And as it always is, morning arrives early, was a little bit of a frost, not too bad, but anyways, thanks for watching. Please join us again for day 4 and see where we call home for that night.